Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks. It is Sunday, October 9th, 2022. And as you can see on the picture that I had taken as a screenshot off the video from 2021, where I had allegedly, well, no allegedly about it, I filmed it, but the faces of an alleged 2 gray faces. I've been here for probably 2-3 hours. This is my 3rd or 4th attempt. Last year, 2 failed attempts to find this position. I have finally found it. And I have done a recreation with my good camera, but I am nearly out of SD card. And I will share this briefly with you. And then I will take all of the written information that I've wrote down, and all the data, and you know, get back into this and try to bury it and bury the hatchet on it, I guess, huh? All right, let me throw this other phone in my back pocket, and I'll talk you through this and take you down. Okay, so here I was, and leaned up against this tree, and right down in through there with my Canon camera, into focus came 2 faces, gray, appeared to look alive. You can see that video on my channel. Hopefully I don't wipe out here, because this is a little tough getting down in here. A lot of boulders. So I have my other camera in my hand, and I just set that up and pretty much ran down there to where I do believe those 2 gray faces were, as a recreation. And I'm gonna have to, you know, go back and look at all the footage and put all the pieces together, pretty much. As you can see, it's, you know, very steep. It's a boulder field in the midst of hardwood trees. Ouch. That one right in the face. You know, I do believe, now that it's been a year, that, you know, some of the smaller twigs have changed. I was really trying to get specific as far as in the video you hear me keep saying, oh, there's the crotch of that tree. Now just to the top right hand corner, da 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 da. And I spent a lot of time here, and with my good camera zooming down to find the crotch of that tree. I did find a crotch of a tree, and I do believe that what it is that I have is the spot. But, you know, the leaves are different, tree branches are falling, the woods change every year. This was a lot of work, I'm going to tell you that right now. So if I didn't get it within a millimeter, then piss on it, because I ain't doing it again. I thought it was pretty cool that there's a kind of a cave type thing here. I've shined my thermal up in there. I don't see any heat signatures, but these things are all over the place. There's all sorts of rocks and boulders that have collapsed on each other and formed little caves. Some have holes out the back, some don't. Let me set this camera down with my pack. All right. Well, my legs are shaking. So I am almost out of battery, and I am nearly, I don't even know how I made it on that last one, but it was one of the most important pieces, was setting up the camera at the spot that I thought that I saw those 2 gray faces, and then going down there myself and getting down there for perspective, a recreation. I mean, the red lights are blinking, and if it runs out of SD, you lose that footage. That one you're not going to have, at least on my camera, because I filmed something last year, no, spring, yeah, March 26th, and there's something else that I got to get vetted. But I filmed something that I'm telling you right now, I couldn't find it afterwards, and I tried with a new SD card, and yeah, you know, it really looked like the shoulders and the head of a Sasquatch with the sun in fur, like hair. So, you know, but I don't have it. So it is what it is. But I learned then that you better make sure that you can complete what it is that you are trying to film, and that's what I was trying to do there. So I got down here, did that, and pretty much ran up this mountain, and I got it. So, all right, enough of me. Let's get to this. All right, let me just back up here and show you a few things. All right, I got sticks stuck in my head. All right. Okay, get down to about the trajectory from down here. So, right about over the top of this rock, right down into there, right down in there is where I think those gray faces were. Wait until you see what's going on down there. All right, so if they were not, you just back up a little bit more on the same trajectory. You can't go anywhere here without poking a stick in your eye or your ear. I'm tired, frustrated. All right, so, you know, if it was any lower, it had to have been over this boulder right here and down in there, because there is no crotch of the sticks and leaves and all this stuff right here, and nothing was growing, nothing got knocked down, so it's not right here, it's right down there. I've measured it. I have it marked on that rock right there. 90 feet from the camera lens to this rock. 90 feet. And down to where I think those faces may have been is 118 feet. That storm's blowing in. Thank you, God, for letting me get this done. Now, something I also want to show you guys. If my trajectory was off, and this is something that I thought about last year when I kept looking at it and looking at it. All right, you see that lichen on the rocks? See all this? All right, and your moss and then your rock in between, okay? I think that's called black lichen. I think that's what it's called, black tree lichen. All right, but you know, if your phone or if your camera was a little out of focus, right? I think it would be safe to say that you could think that you're filming something that's a face if all of that stuff was just setting exactly the right way, and then you were a little out of focus. But two gray faces, well, I guess that's a possibility too, you know? All right, so let me cut to the chase. I think whatever it was either right in here or just in between those two rocks. So let me get down here, and I'm not gonna know until I get back home and look at the recreation video when I came down here to see if I am in that spot. So either way, when I did get down here, I could look right up in there and I could see my camera up in there. It's right up in there. Okay, get this back down. All right, so you know, unless all of this stuff fell here just in the last year, it was great cover, you know, great cover. A little bare spot back here, lay right down into here and look up and watch the people walking down the trail. I was right, it was off of the main trail. I came up here the first time with no pictures. The second time I came up here with pictures and I was sick. And I walked up halfway up this mountain, and if anybody knows Crane Mountain, you know that ain't no cookie cutter climb. And then I walked back down, and then I turned around and walked back up. I was so frustrated, and I went home, and that was it for the year of coming up here. I think I came up here in the spring once, and I walked around down low. Yes, I did, not long ago. So not that long ago. And I kept thinking to myself, let me try to backtrack where I was and see if maybe I just wasn't on the trail and I was down there somewhere, because this just goes like this and then way down and then goes like this and way down. And that's what I've been doing all day long. And then I kept telling myself, I ain't walking back up on that damn trail. I've already looked at that. And then finally I just kept coming up, crisscrossing back and forth. And finally I made it to the trail. And I'm telling you, where I came out on the trail was only about 50 yards from where I filmed that. So I was pretty close on backtracking myself by memory. So now I'm gonna finish this up by showing you one more thing that I thought was pretty cool. If this is the way it all plays out, if it's not, well, then it's not. But from up there, you would have never known what this looks like down here. And if whatever it was hiding behind these rocks, look how steep that is. I mean, it's not sheer cliff, but man, it goes right down. Look at that. All right, let me show you something. Okay. You can tell there's like some sort of like a little game trail right here, which there's deer all over up in here, right? Now, let's, that's interesting. Little bare spot on the ground right there. That is interesting. I mean, there's a lot of leaves all over the place, right? Why is that one spot bare? That's very interesting. And, you know, there's another little hole goes up in there, but look at, you see, all right, I'm not very tall, okay? But I can even look between these two rocks straight exactly up. I can see the gap straight up there. So if you see that tree right there, you see that little green gap right up in there? That's where the camera was. So who knows? I always wondered by, you know, the way that those two faces were all kind of like crunched up in. I was like, what? If they are a living being, what were they doing? Like, I mean, they look like, it's not just straight up and down, like I'm just standing there or sitting down, or not like I'm ducked down looking up. It's like all off sideways and everything. That would make sense. That would make sense if one was taller than the other and they were over there peeking around the corner trying to look up in there, looking right between the gaps of all them rocks and right up there. That to me is quite amazing. But you know what? I mean, I want the truth, and I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I am gonna be looking real hard at those faces being a creation of unfocused camera, this lichen in patches of moss and crap on a rock. Because I've seen somewhat of that before. I mean, you know what? If I ever film a Sasquatch, or I film something that's really awesome, it's gonna be awesome. For me, it's gonna be awesome, right? So I really don't want second place, and I'm not interested in something being so-so. I mean, I have a bunch of so-sos, but that I can't make it any more than what it is. So But either way, listen, this video is long enough. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Just want to let you know that I think I have what I need now. I mean, there's not much more I can do. I've took all the measurements on all different points, all the way from the trajectory line of the camera lens to the suspected area where them gray faces were. What's nice is it can't be any further than this rock, because that's it. It drops off and goes right out across the top of the tree. So it has to be from 129 feet up. Well, we'll get into it. We'll see what we got, and I'll report it. If it is determined that it was just lichen and rock, I'm going to tell you that. Might need to have somebody take a good look at it. If I can prove it wrong, I'll prove it wrong. If it ends up being undetermined, well, then it'll stay undetermined. And that's as far as I can go with it, because I only have what I have. It is what it is. All right, you guys. Well, listen, I really appreciate you watching the videos, and I appreciate you guys supporting me. I hope everybody had a great weekend. God bless you all. Have a great Columbus Day tomorrow, and have a great week at work.